WCIA3 News.
Well, it's the final night of the legislative session. What to expect from lawmakers as we approach that midnight deadline. Plus, remembering the brave men and women who have really sacrificed so much. How veterans were honored this Memorial Day. And it's not post-pandemic just yet, but many people are coming together as more Illinoisans get vaccinated. Why this Memorial Day is so different.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA3 News at 10.
Illinois has been a leader in voter rights. We don't want to suppress voters here.
The midnight deadline for the legislative session is nearing, and lawmakers have a lot to discuss. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm McLeod Hageman. Jessica has the night off. Well, Illinois could make some major changes to election laws. The House and Senate are moving to postpone the March primary and to expand voter access in high schools and jails. Our Capitol Bureau Chief, Mark Maxwell, is covering the latest developments from Springfield ahead of tonight's deadline. Now, Mark, a lot of changes were actually introduced during the pandemic.
That's right. Most states passed expanded vote by mail during the pandemic, and now Illinois could lock that in. Permanent vote by mail status for voters who apply for it. Advocates say that could also boost voter turnout for years to come. We could also see pop-up voting booths in county jails. Democrats drafted a new election access plan Sunday that would allow people to cast their ballots in county jail for their elections back home where they live. House Democrat Kelly Cassidy explained why.
Well, because they haven't been convicted of anything. You know, anyone in a county jail is most likely being held pre-trial, and they've not been proven to have committed a crime. Quite frankly, I believe everybody should get to vote anyway. I wouldn't mind seeing voting in prisons.
I want to encourage everyone to participate in the democracy. However, some of the ideas that are in this bill are just going down the wrong path.
That's Senator John Curran. This bill up for debate right now across in the other chamber in the Senate. The House passing it earlier tonight. The State Board of Elections would also have to perform cybersecurity scans to look for any vulnerabilities in computer systems at local election authorities. Also, as you mentioned, McLeod, the primary election would move 15 weeks back from March 15th to June 28th. If you're looking for a political angle there, that would give Republicans in a primary a lot more time to beat each other up before one victor emerged to try and angle their way into a statewide office next November.
And Mark, there's certainly a lot happening at the State House tonight. Where do we stand on a new clean energy bill?
There's news developing on that just now. Two sources close to this energy discussion do feel confident that there is a tentative deal in place, but the lawmakers behind me on the floor here haven't seen it. Reporters haven't seen it. We don't know quite what's in it. Last we heard, the big linchpin here was a tax on carbon or any emissions that come from coal or natural gas. Instead of putting that bill on the backs of taxpayers or your electric bill, Governor Pritzker wanted to tax those other polluters and use that money to prop up the state's aging nuclear fleet.
And Mark, we also know the House and Senate promised stricter ethics laws to crack down on some of that corruption as well. Any update on that tonight?
Yes, just moments ago, the House approved tougher ethics laws. The Senate could also take that up earlier. We expect that that will pass. Only 5 Republicans voting against it in the House, a strong sign of how much support there was for it. The plan would restrict lawmakers from doubling as lobbyists in most cases. It would also put a 6-month revolving door ban in place. It would also require greater disclosure of income and gifts over $500. After all, a recent study found that Chicago leads the nation in public corruption, Illinois ranking 2nd nationwide behind only Louisiana. One senator said this may not end corruption overnight, but it would single out many of those specific incidents that we've seen federal prosecutors single out in recent months.
And another big topic up for debate tonight includes those FOID cards. Is there any word on whether fingerprints will be required or where that stands?
Yes, we do have breaking news on the FOID card front. The Senate just moments ago approving a plan to encourage voluntary fingerprinting, not mandatory, voluntary. Gun owners who give the state their fingerprint for the FOID card would get fast-tracked for that renewal process. You could also get a digital FOID card on your phone. The price would stay the same at $10. It would not require your fingerprints again. If it works to move that line on clearing out the backlog of FOID renewals, it could also alleviate pressure for the state and state police who face a number of legal challenges in court as that backlog is built up during the pandemic. But for now, reporting in Springfield, Mark Maxwell. All the other updates on WCIA.com. You can follow the action there.
All right, Mark, thank you so much. Also from the Capitol tonight, Illinois is the first state to ban police from using deceptive practices to get a confession from kids for crime. Now, it stops police from lying to kids to get information on a case. Supporters say the practice leads to false or incorrect confessions a lot of the time.
Let me just be clear. I think the idea of lying or deceiving anybody during any interrogation is wrong. But in this case, for young people, don't deceive them. Don't try to make offers to them that don't actually exist. Don't try to intimidate them and tell them that you heard X from someone else and therefore Y is happening here.
And it did pass with bipartisan support in the House and the Senate there. A man is dead after a hit-and-run crash that happened on I-57 near Thomasboro. State police got a call earlier this morning from a driver who said they saw a car in the ditch. When troopers arrived, they saw a man's body on the shoulder. The coroner identified him as 32-year-old Kendrick Jones of Little Rock, Arkansas. If you have any information, please call police. Authorities are investigating after 2 juveniles were shot last night in Rantoul. That happened at the intersection of Rosewood Drive and Sycamore Lane. But police were first called to the corner of Harmon Drive and South Maplewood Drive. That's where they found the 2 juveniles. Now, they were taken to the hospital and are expected to be all right. If you have any information, please call Rantoul Police or Crime Stoppers. It's Memorial Day, and we honor the brave men and women who have sacrificed so much to keep us safe. And people throughout central Illinois honored veterans during services for today. One event at East Lawn Cemetery in Urbana brought quite the crowd. American Legion members shot into the sky and taps were played to remember these hometown heroes.
Celebrate the veterans that served and are departed, to pay respect for the veterans that served and gave their lives. That's important to me.
Ceremonies also took place in Champaign, Danville, Springfield, Mattoon, and Gibson City. And this has been a tradition for many years for people in Gibson City to come together for Memorial Day. They lined the streets for the annual parade. Then they joined for a ceremony at the Veterans Memorial on the south side of Drummer Township Cemetery. As more people get vaccinated, family gatherings are making a comeback. Many people had the chance to be outside with friends and family this Memorial Day. And WCIA3's Jared Farmer stopped by Hessel Park. And Jared, there were several families out there today.
Mac, as more people get vaccinated and the coronavirus positivity rate continues to drop, it seems like more people are getting back into their regular routines. A lot more families had something cooking on the grill at Hessel Park this Memorial Day. Kids were out playing with their friends like they used to, and parents were catching up with family they haven't seen all year.
It's just been fun to just be with family, to get out and enjoy each other, you know.
Dorothy Johnson and her family came out to Hessel to commemorate her father, who served in the Korean War. It's also almost been a full year since she's seen the majority of her family. She says it's a blessing to be both fully vaccinated and able to safely gather again.
I just thank God that He has allowed us all to be able to enjoy another year without the COVID being so bad as it was last year.
Kiara Wilson says her family also hasn't seen each other since the pandemic started, but decided it was safe now that her grandmother is getting her second dose. She says it's the closest some of her loved ones have felt to life being back to normal.
I feel like it's getting there. I feel like we're definitely reaching the first steps of getting to being normal. I don't think that we're quite there yet, but I definitely feel like this is the first step for sure.
And if you're interested in getting your shot but haven't yet, there are weekly walk-in clinics at the Champaign-Urbana Public Health Building. Back to you.
All right, Jared, thank you so much. And speaking of vaccinations, on Sunday, more than 22,000 people were vaccinated, and the 7-day average is nearly 50,000 at this point. More than 5.2 million people are now fully vaccinated. That's more than 41% of the state's population. There are more than 500 new cases, and 33 more people have died. The positivity rate has now dropped again. It's now sitting at 2%. Juneteenth could soon be a state holiday. It was unanimously approved by the Illinois House last week, and that included the state Senate just last month. It commemorates the day the last black slaves were freed in the United States. If the governor signs that measure, it would make June 19th a paid day off for all state employees, including a school holiday. Well, the State Fair is back this year, and it has a fitting theme to match its return. Plus, many believe golf is a leisurely sport, but for the Illinois men's golf team, it's all business this week. And Jacob, we felt a pretty comfortable Memorial Day across central Illinois, but things are looking a little wet later this week.
Yeah, we got a chance for a few showers. The other thing that's coming back, summer. We've got the heat and humidity on the way. Let's talk about some of these showers that are coming our way right now here. Just very light in nature, some clouds for the day, just a few sprinkles. That will be the case into tonight, but more rain showers to